The Mahabharata, 8 questions posed to us today. The Mahabharata is a vast ancient Indian epic that transcends myth. With thousands of characters and overlapping events, it ultimately holds onto one thing: choices. At its core is a royal family split into two, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Their conflict over the throne escalates from a personal quarrel to the fate of a nation. In this world, gods offer counsel but never choose for humans. There are no absolute heroes or villains, only righteous people in wrong places and good choices leading to tragic ends. This series does not summarize the plot. Instead, it extracts each scene as a question. Does silence become a sin? When does duty become violence? These questions remain relevant as long as power and relationships exist. We pass the judgment to you, the person present here now. Episode 1. When no one moves in the face of public insult, who is responsible? The Pandava brothers lose everything: kingdom, wealth, and freedom in a rigged game of dice. As a final stake, their wife Draupadi is dragged into the public court. The attempt to strip her in front of the assembly was a total desecration of human dignity. The king, elders, and warriors, all sworn to justice, were present. They knew the situation was unjust, yet no one spoke. Because a sword was not swung, they may have felt it wasn't violence. But their silence allowed the insult to continue. The Mahabharata records this scene at length to identify not just the villains, but those who remained silent. Were those who said nothing truly neutral, or had they already made a choice? Episode 2. Is the choice to do nothing neutrality, or is it an act of maintaining the system? Bhishma was a revered warrior who sacrificed his personal life for the throne's stability. He knew the law better than anyone and recognized injustice when it occurred. Yet, he never left his post or raised a rebellion. He appeared sinless because he did nothing wrong. However, his stillness became the very force that maintained the system. Power gained legitimacy simply because he remained in his place. The Mahabharata portrays him as righteous to make us uncomfortable. Is one free from responsibility if their hands aren't dirtied? When does duty obscure justice? Episode 3. When knowing what is right yet unable to leave one's place, does that righteousness still hold meaning? Karna, a man of great generosity and skill, was denied recognition due to his low status until a Kaurava prince offered him honor. Karna accepted this as a lifelong debt. Later, he realizes his side is wrong and his enemies are his own brothers. Yet he refuses to leave. He chose loyalty over justice, fearing the label of a traitor. The story does not depict him as cowardly, but as someone bearing the weight of his choice. Why do good people stay on the wrong side? When does goodness in the form of gratitude or loyalty cause moral judgment to cease? Episode 4. When everyone speaks of justice, why does justice fail to stop the war? The Kurukshetra war was not a battle between good and evil. Both sides believed they were fighting for justice. The Pandavas to correct a wrong, the Kauravas to protect order. When justice is singular, the fight is short. When it is multiple, the conflict is endless. The story focuses not on heroic deeds, but on the fallen bodies and grieving families. It records the cost rather than the victory. Does a just war actually exist? In a fight where everyone claims the moral high ground, who takes responsibility for the carnage? Episode 5. Is the moment of not choosing truly no choice at all, or the heaviest choice of all? Wars do not begin in an instant. Before violence, there is a long silence. Many leaders and elders foresaw the tragedy but chose to delay, judging the time not yet right to act. This inaction was not ignorance but a choice. The Mahabharata treats silence not as neutrality, but as the slow accumulation of responsibility. Wars are shaped by those who stay in place as much as by those who act. When we claim to be doing nothing, what are we actually allowing to happen? Episode 6. Can one escape the responsibility for the consequences on the grounds? That one follow duty? On the battlefield, the archer Arjuna refuses to fight his own kin. The god Krishna tells him to perform his duty without attachment to the results. Arjuna accepts and fights, leading to countless deaths. The story does not use the god's words as an indulgence. Even if a choice is made through divine counsel, the consequences remain. Does the phrase, "do not be attached," erase the blood on one's hands? Does duty free a human from the weight of what they have done? Episode 7. What does victory leave behind, and can that outcome truly save humanity? The Pandavas win, and the throne is regained. But there are no cheers in the palace. The survivors cannot look at each other for the victory required. killing their own teachers and friends. The story gazes at the ruined land and empty seats. Victory did not solve the problem, it only left new, heavier questions. What was gained, and what was lost? If winning cannot save us from the consequences of our choices, what is the value of victory? Episode 8. After the story ends, to whom does judgment pass? After the war, the Pandavas eventually abandon the throne. Their journey to the forest is not a victor's march, but the final attitude of humans living with the results of their choices. The story stops quietly, refusing to provide a neat emotional conclusion. The Mahabharata leaves an empty seat for the reader. It does not ask who was right in the past. It asks what choice you will make now. The story does not end, it passes the question to the next person.